maybe let's start with one of the funnier things that you've seen when it comes to recruitment. In terms of like bad quality people we're really not looking for. Do you have a fun story that you can share with us?
Not funny people, but I remember I took an observation, and when I joined the business, we were doing clearance. So we were selling different products, not quality products, more like Timo type of products. What you see is not what you get. So I took an observation. I was taking an observation. So I had my bag. So after a while in the field, the bag doesn't really look as good. The zip doesn't close. The struggle of the field. But anyway, so when I got to the reception to meet my observation, tall Congolese guy, and he was wearing, you can see it's a designer suit that he was wearing. It was smelling good. This guy, he just looked moneyed. And when we got downstairs, obviously confidence of the field, so I took him downstairs. When we got downstairs, there's a Porsche. It's just a two-seater, driver and the passenger, that's it. And I put it right out. And so I did my CV breakdown before we deal with the issue of the car. And we used to have this statement where you say to the guy, if you find an observation that is with a car, say, oh no, mine is at the garage. And obviously I didn't have a car at that time. So this particular one, it was going to be obvious. There's no car. So the guy was quite good, he was gracious. He saw the situation. And he offered that, you guys, you can put your bags here, I can go with one of you and I'll meet you, or the other guys will meet us in the field. But yeah, I had to actually let the guy go. He was not prepared to leave his car behind. Besides, he was working at the Congolese embassy. He had a huge salary. I used that moment to sort of educate myself, ask him questions, try to push him as much as I can, just for the experience, but I knew I lost it.
It sounds a little bit like JC Young arriving for his first round interview in a Porsche as well. But these are the kind of people that we want to recruit, because if you just look at JC Young arriving in a Porsche now, running Credico internationally. So definitely some good quality people out there. We just need to make sure we are attracting them. But I want to know, because it's really important you and your administrator or your recruiter are on the same page, what exactly are we looking for when we say we want to recruit an A player?
The A player, you look at ourselves, did we come through as polished, ready to go products? No, someone had to work on us. But one quality that we needed to come with every day was to be prepared to learn, be prepared to work hard, be the best student of the business. And if that person comes through and they're showing you their willingness to learn, willingness to work hard, and the attitude towards life is good, for me, those three are important. What is your attitude towards life? Do you want to achieve something? Do you want to be somebody? That kind of individual is already ticking the three boxes that are important to me.
So it's not just expensive English?
No.
All right, fantastic. So now, what are some of the things that you've seen in a lot of offices that just show you what we're not trying to attract? Yeah, it's people just take the easy way and just say, listen, let's just recruit these people anyway.
So sometimes it's not the bad recruited individuals, it's the environment that people come through and they find, when you're in Randburg, You know, you could have just turned Lisa to be something else if she did not find a fertile space for her to be able to be taught and grow. So often, you know, we think the bad is the people that are coming through, but sometimes it's the space that you have created that is more like the Manchester United. You kill talent.
Like really?
You know, you want to be able to create an environment where, you know, someone, you know, I heard it from you as well, say, we have a contract with ourselves that anyone who walks through the doors into our atmosphere, we have got a duty to make them great. And we need to be having that kind of mindset. And then you as an owner, you need to be able to create an environment that is educational, fun, and very productive. You know, you need to be playing the role. Don't be a spectator in your business. Be a participant to make sure that you are in control of what is happening in your business, what is being taught, you know. And you see with the, you know, all the greats in our industry right now, when you get to their atmosphere, to their offices, you see them in their atmospheres. You will see Patrick Maloba in the atmosphere. You see, you know, I normally come through to Patrick Lunga's atmosphere, and I'm like, where's Pat? And I look, because the atmosphere is so packed, and like, there he is. I can't even see him. I'd start looking for the shiny forehead. They are in control of what's happening in their business.
Okay, awesome. Now, sometimes we get like really great quality or really good looking people that come through the door. Sometimes there's a bunch of white people that come for interviews. And what happens sometimes is, oh, there's a white guy, there's a white guy. Grant, you need to do this one. So why do you think some people feel intimidated by those kinds of people? And what can they do to overcome that, to make sure they're still recruiting them?
Okay, fortunate for me, I had everybody in my team. I trained everybody. So some is because the recruiters are the ones that are filtering people prior to them coming to the, you know, to being invited. Oh no, I see this name here, there's Sherwood. It might be Koki, you know, so they don't bring that individual. But if you bring enough diversity for your business, when you recruit as many diverse people, you will start seeing also that being reflected with the people that are in your office. But once we recruit a Grant, don't think that Grant is different. Make him feel comfortable. Because the moment that you feel like it's different and you're acting that way, he's not going to be comfortable. That's why Grant is going to end up saying, maybe this place is not for me. So, advice, act like it's normal.
For sure, and it goes back to, look, we recruit who we are, not necessarily who we want. So if you can look around your office and you're like, man, things aren't really, or the people that I'm working with aren't really the kind of people that I need to be working with, then what do you do?
So what I did actually in Randburg, I split the office into two. Actually, not really splitting, but I took advantage of an empty atmosphere. So I said, guys, I'm relocating myself to the other atmosphere, and I'll be selecting people that will be migrating to come to me. And I took about 4 guys, and those 4 guys, we went to China Mall, we bought new suits, new shoes, everything. I said, you're gonna walk and carry yourself this way. And those were the initial individuals that I had. And it just took that kind of decision to say, okay guys, we're gonna be having fun. Look at these people that I'm with this side. We're already starting at this. We just bought suits and we are all looking nice. So the individuals that I left on the other atmosphere, they had to qualify to come through. So we're just bringing 1 at a time or 2 at a time, whoever that had qualified. And the individuals that started remaining behind, they knew it's about time, it's China time. you know, and it was because they were not prepared to really fight to level up. And, you know, the whole idea was to level up. And during that time, the best recruiting, you know, I remember at one time we had, in a week, we had about 80 interviews, and I only brought about 4 people from the 80. And I know the administrators, the recruiters are like, no, it's blowing more people, because they're used to seeing a lot of observations coming through. But I just wanted to have a different attitude towards recruiting, to just select the best of the best, because sometimes we don't even filter as much in our interviews, because you are chasing a blueprint, you are chasing a number, you know, you're playing the Fakabantu, you know, so Faka. All right, you need to trademark that one, Michelle, Faka. All right, but yeah, so when I did that, so even the guys that were on the other side, they realized that even the quality of new guys that were coming through the line was much better to what they were used to, and it made them to level up as well.
So what happens if you go about Fagabantuing for too long and he's just putting people, and then what?
Yeah, it's going to be a painful exercise to turn your office around. You'd rather put quality up front than to say, no, I will filter and start removing people afterwards. It's a really painful exercise, because now I've got Grant, who's really, really good, and then I've been playing Fagabantu, and then what happens is Grant will lower his level of intensity and everything else because he's surrounded by bad quality, right? But if I put good quality up front, when Grant comes at a XXX level of intensity, he's not going to drop it, because he's coming through an environment that is not entertaining mediocrity. But once you have that mediocrity up front, Grant will come and be average, or probably a little bit above average, because he was already awesome, right? So it's a painful exercise, and another thing is you get to lose good people.
Yeah, definitely. So now, let's just say you're tired of Fagabantuing and tired of running a sales company. You actually want to grow an organization, which means you need people who understand business and how to be successful. But you're looking around at your trainers and you're like, man, these guys aren't even be able to recruit anyone of standard or of quality. How do you go about then changing the whole culture of your business?
You're going to have to teach. Like I said, it's easy to point the finger and say, they are bad. What are you doing to turn it around? Teach them. And if, guys, the teaching is not only on leaders' meetings, but it's also situational teaching. And guys will have a challenge, go through in depth with it, change the way you are doing your third round interviews, maybe start asking more questions to say, hey, Grant, how was your day today with Patrick? What did you learn from Patrick? Did they explain this? Okay, can you explain it back to me? What else happened? So I want to get more insight about what happens in the field with my leaders. And that gives me some sort of feedback that I can then go back to my leaders and be able to teach them. I need to be able to do the trend ride. Okay, I was in the field, guys. I used to have trends. Guys, we used to have trends, right? Or you don't know? We used to have trends. Going to the field. So do trend ride, or put your people in your car, go and drop them in the field. Once you take them to the field, don't play that other song there for vocalistic, but switch off your music and listen to how your guys are interacting with their write-outs, with their observations, and that gives you some sort. Don't jump into that conversation. Listen afterwards, just do, see you later, kick ass, they go. In the evening, I'm coming and we're going through stuff that I saw, right? I want to be able to teach people all the time. Every moment is a teachable moment. And that is if you're paying attention to it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we have somebody who's running the most profitable office ever in South Africa. And it's because he had a certain strategy around recruitment. You know, in Jabulo,
Yeah.
every time he went to go and do store visits, you would just take an observation of him. And you would just recruit the guy anyway because he's a great recruiter. Why do you think owners hold themselves back from doing the exact same?
It's projection. Oh, I don't have enough space for blueprint. So if I just add, I'm limiting my guys, or I'm taking space from my guys, and we're just doing a lot of projections. I think let it be the problem that you can then say, Grant, I've got so much happening in my business. I've got this amount of people. I need space. Let's talk about that, but then you projecting that you don't have space. All right? And for me, there's a lot of feedback when an owner goes to the field, when even you are doing store visits and you're taking observations. There's a lot of positives to that because then you are teaching your guys on what you are actually doing, what you are experiencing. You are not an outsider to what you are talking about. Right? And the other thing is, your guys are watching you. There's cameras on you all the time. So when you do that, the guy that wanted to slouch and be lazy, and that guy is gonna say, "Oh shit, he can replace me anytime," and that's the reaction that you want. You want your guys not to take the opportunity for granted, And Jabulo spoke about it a lot, that he was always and is always scared of losing the opportunity because he sees great value of the opportunity. And if you are leading people that don't have the same fear of loss, then those people, they are not reacting like you.
For sure. Okay, so Kev, there have been a few times where I was really frustrated with my leaders. And I'm like, man, these guys can't close the top people that I keep bringing through. And if these guys just started, they would be national consultants, definitely. And I think a lot of owners just keep stopping themselves from recruiting that really fucking sharp person because they're just lazy.
I don't think they're lazy. I think it's a mindset that needs to change. Keep bringing them, because that will change with experience. So I'll challenge my top leaders. I'll give Grant, this is a sharp guy. If you fucking lose this guy, and then you're not gonna take any observation again. So I want to keep pushing them to take those guys, because the moment that you stop, that means you are not giving them that experience that will get them to be better at taking those type of people. And if you lower the standard as well as you are bringing the people in from your interviews, that also affects their ability to then become good at taking those kind of guys. I need to keep hammering, something is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And obviously teaching, networking, set them up with calls. They just need sometimes to hear a different voice. That voice will say the same shit that you said, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go and take that sharp guy. It's more of the confidence. Like I spoke about the first guy now, the first question, the guy that I took, it was just confidence. If they brought 10 of those guys, what do you think was gonna happen? I was gonna recruit.
Definitely, but now from a recruiter's point of view, because we have some recruiters that are fucking incredible, and then you have some recruiters that are just fucking around. In terms of quality of people. So now, how do you, as a recruiter, make sure you guarantee a higher quality person comes through?
Two parts on that one, Grant. When I joined the business, not when I joined the business, when I got promoted to assistant manager, I was put in the office, and by that time we used to have newspaper ads, and we had three phone lines, and all three phone lines were on the ad, and that phone is fucking ringing the whole time, man, like crazy. And then the recruiter was then told she's not going to be at work for a week. And I had to answer the phones the whole time. Man, each time when you go to bed, you can hear that phone ringing. And you needed to do that. And when the phone was not ringing, it was an opportunity to learn. Then we'll call Peter's administrators, we'll call the way they answer, I'm writing it down. I call again, I give them a different name, I change my voice, change my tone. Sometimes it will be like really giving, foreign vibes. So they drop the voice. But it was also a feedback to say, or sometimes you mumble and you don't really speak properly and they drop the phone immediately. They just wanted the best of the best. And then I set an expectation, say, I need that kind of reaction. What am I expecting? What am I tolerating when it comes to recruiting? So, it's the mindset towards recruiting that needs to change. And like I said, it's two parts to that. And the recruiter responds to how the owner pushes them. Is the owner jumping on the call and recruiting next to the administrator? I've seen the recruiters sometimes they go and hide somewhere in a room somewhere, and the owner doesn't even know how they answer the phone or how they speak on the phone, and or even just checking the ads before they come live online. You need to be able to be a participant in everything recruiting. You shouldn't be a stranger to the recruiting side of things, And I had so much respect for the recruiter after spending a week on those phones, and we then went through recruiting or ad tracking, and I started seeing, because they used to keep, Peter and them, they used to keep ads that they've placed 3-4 years back. And they would write on these books and say bad, shit, less people, good quality, whatever. They would describe the ad all the time so that they get to know which ad is working, which one is not working. Guys, that was a long time where they to use books. Now we've got so much advantage in terms of you can screenshot, you can keep them digitally on your phone, whatever. You create a folder that has got all your ads that you have posted. Tell your recruiter, screenshot the ad right now, let me see which one, because I just had so many people, either good or bad, whatever. Then you take it, you put it in a folder, and you describe that folder. So the day that you want maybe lots of people, not but you just want to do a lot of interviews, you know which ad worked the last time, and you basically have a date when it was posted. So that also the time, it's important. Because right now there's a lot of people coming from tertiary and high school. It does not mean that the same ad that you put this time of the year is going to work towards the end of the year, or in the middle of the year, whatever it is. But at least you do some sort of tracking of your ads.
Okay, awesome. And then you just spoke a little bit about mindset, and definitely a lot, maybe a couple recruiters start as recruiters and they see, this is maybe a bit of a dead-end job that I'm just going to do for a bit. But we also have recruiters that come in and say, man, I'm going to make a career out of this, like the guys we're going to have speaking today. How do you go about developing that growth mindset in the recruiting space?
It's a holistic approach to, Davida spoke a little bit about, your online presence. What is the image? Yesterday I spoke about walking away from your office and you walk back like a new guy. Do the same thing when it comes to social media. Start Googling your company name. Find out what comes across, what is there, what can you change? Do you have a company logo? Do you have a mission statement? All those things, it encompasses what people then see and then complement whatever that comes in your mind, out of your mouth, and what they see in your office as well. So to just think that it's one thing that is going to be the niche difference to the person's mindset, but we don't know what it is. You know, I was telling Peter, you know, when we were in Rosebank, I went to leaders meeting in Rosebank, and one speaker came through, and I never spoke to that guy, but he's the guy that sort of changed my mindset, said like, I can fucking do this. This is awesome.